Welcome back to the best series on the internet. We have the ESPN Fantasy Team of the Week. This was the highest possible scoring team you could have had in fantasy last week, week 11 of the NFL. Starting off with your quarterback, if you had Jared Goff, he would have scored you 34.58 points. A great game by the line. His defense has been so good in recent games that he hasn't really had to do much, but he had a good game this week, making his first appearance on this list. Then if you had Joe Mixon as your running back one, he would have scored you 35.3 points. He is the best running back in fantasy right now, and the only reason he's ranked 7 is because he missed a couple games. He is averaging so many points a game, and as you can see by his projected, he has been a great running back. Following that, at your running back 2, surprise, surprise, if you had Saquon Barkley, he also would have got you a ton of points, 33.8 to be exact. He has made his 5th appearance on this list, which is just crazy to think about, and somehow he's still not even the number 1 running back. He's actually averaging the second most behind Joe Mixon, and the only reason he's ranked below Derrick Henry is because Derrick Henry hasn't had a bye yet. At your wide receiver 1 spot, you would have wanted to have Amon-Ra St. Brown. He got himself a good game along with Jared Goff, 38.7 points, a crazy week for a wide receiver, bumping him up to the 2nd wide receiver spot in fantasy. Following that, if you had T. Higgins as your wide receiver 2, he made a great return to the game with a 29.8 point week, scoring more than Jamar Chase, who has been going off recently, and got himself enough points this week to make his first appearance. Then at your tight end spot, I don't even know if we can call this a tight end anymore, but Taysom Hill scored 41.52 points. I have never seen a tight end score that many points before. And the reason I say I don't know if we can call him a tight end is because he had passing yards, receiving yards, rushing yards. Pretty sure he had a receiving and a rushing touchdown, maybe even a passing touchdown on top of that. He was the Saints' entire offense. It's no wonder that he scored so many points, but either way, a career game for Taysom Hill. Then at your flex spot, if you had another tight end in Brock Bowers, he has finally made his long-awaited appearance here with a 31.3 point week. The best of the season, but he has gotten close before because he is the number 1 tight end, has had a lot of great weeks leading up to this, and it was just a matter of time before he made the list. Then you should have had the Texans as your fantasy defense. They scored 17 fantasy points, as to be expected because they were playing the Cowboys, and the Cowboys are just so bad this year. Great defensive outing by the Texans. And finally at your kicker, if you had Chris Boswell, he has made his 2nd appearance now on this list with a 24-point week. Might be the best player on the Steelers at the moment. I don't really know how they're winning so many games, but he had himself a great game to beat the Ravens. In total, if you had all of these guys on your team, you would have scored 286 points on the dot. That is just a crazy score to even think about. For example, an average winning team in fantasy this week would score about 130, and this team would beat that by 156 points. I'm guessing not anyone actually had this team because these guys are all stars, but if they did, that would be a crazy week to have. But did you have any of these guys on your team? If you did, tell me down in the comments below, and be sure to check out some of these other videos on your screen now.